What's up you guys, it's 2bricks and I'm back with a new mock which is a really fun kind of stroll down memory lane for me, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys. It is my WALL-E diorama. I had WALL-E on my mind the other day because there's a new 4K Criterion Collection release coming of the film soon, if it's not out already by the time this is out. And so I just felt like I was thinking about the film and I was like, hey, you know, WALL-E is one of the best movies ever made. How's about I kind of revisit this in LEGO? And I say revisit because the thing that really got me out of my dark ages of LEGO was actually building a tiny little WALL-E mock, a little bit smaller than this one, which I did while I was working at the LEGO store way back in 2011, I want to say, or 2010. I was fresh out of animation school, didn't have any prospects, and I thought, well, I love Lego. Lego's fun. You know, I hadn't been playing with any at the time, but I thought I'll go get a job at the Lego store. And we had, you know, parts bins everywhere, and so I started just seeing little bits here and there, and I was like, I wonder if I could make a WALL-E out of this. And just cobbling together that little mock on my spare time, a few kind of seconds here or there, while I was on duty, kind of revived my love of Lego as a building medium. So I owe this little guy a lot, and I thought this would be a really fun time to do a little diorama. So here I've created a little homage to the movie, not really a particular scene, although it is kind of reminiscent of WALL-E and Eve's first date. And so yeah, I decided to build this and bring it to you guys, and the instructions for this are available down in the description. You can check out my Rubricable page. While you're there, you can see all the other mocks that I have. I have absolutely dozens of them. I think over 60 at this point, 70 maybe, I'm not really sure, but you guys can check it out. And yeah, if you any mocks that you purchase, or even the free ones that you download, it all kind of helps to raise the brand and raise the awareness of 2bricks, and I very much appreciate it. And also, of course, it supports me directly financially and allows me to continue working on the channel. So without any further ado, because there has been a lot of ado in this video so far, 2 minutes in, and I apologize, but let's get in and we'll take a look at this mock and the individual figures, which are designed to be removed and played with. So here we go. Alright, so what is included with this little diorama? So obviously we have WALL-E and Eve. Eve there is looking a little blockier than I would like, but I'm fairly happy with her overall proportions and the general shaping of her. I wanted to make, not give her just a round head, because she has kind of her head is more flat at the bottom, and then it rounds out kind of the dome on the top. And I was trying to capture that with the shapes here, and I think I did okay. You can see there she has the blue Technic axles for her indication of her eyes there, and I think that generally works pretty well. So we have WALL-E and Eve kind of in this cute hand-holding pose right here, in front of this kind of fence railing setting right here. On the side, I have a couple of little Easter eggs. So I have the plant in the boot. So that's kind of just tucked away in this little tiny storage area off to the side here. So very simple build here, just 4 parts for that. But you know, I think it works very effectively. You know what you're looking at, and I have it tucked in there a little further than is necessary, but you can actually pull this out so it looks like it's sprouting a bit more, and you can just tuck that away in the side here. And I just leave it with the leaf facing out, so it's easier to just kind of pull down on that and pull it out. Otherwise, if you put it in this way, it tends to get a little bit stuck. So there you go. I can now no longer get it. Then I have this green tile off to the side here, which is designed, there you go, which is designed to represent Eve when she's in, plant carrying mode. So this is to indicate that she has a specimen on board. And so whether or not you wanted to have that, it's optional. But, once she gets the plant on board, she kind of goes into hibernation mode. So it depends on how you want to have her displayed, really. So then we go around to the other side here. You can see just the back here with the railings and the kind of rusted, broken lamppost that was once. And then we see some kind of trash piles off to the side. And the idea behind this is just to kind of generally recreate the environment of the Earth in the post-apocalyptic era in which WALL-E lives. And then lastly, on the back here, you can see WALL-E has his little cooler that he takes with him to gather up junk and stuff that he likes, things that he intends to keep. And there you go. That's kind of the whole deal. So I'll pop the characters off of the base now and show you how they work individually. So first up is Eve. You can see here Eve is just balancing on the transparent rod that she's stuck on, and that rod is removable. It's just attached in here with a Technic axle brick, and oops, and the kind of, I guess, the depth of which you want to have the rod inserted is up to you. So it can go down quite a long way, and I had it to the level where it's convenient for her to hold hands with Wally when she's on the base. But if you want to have it look like she's flying a little bit higher, you can definitely do that. And yeah, because she's so symmetrical in her design, she actually balances on that pretty well. So I really like that you can pose her arms up and down, and you can also rotate them forward and back. She's got the nice kind of, her little flippers here come to a point, so she can look like she's really shooting, getting mean with it. So that's cool. And then her body's just really simple, nice and round, like you would expect. And then you can just have her kind of put her arms back, and she can look like she's flying through the scene as you would expect. And if you really wanted to, you could place, I haven't included that here, but you could place a couple of transparent, either transparent blue stud with hole in or transparent blue dishes to kind of give the effect of her flying, where she kind of leaves like an interesting blue trail behind her. So that's kind of cool. Her head is just attached with this single blue stud right here. And then if you wanted to, you could actually remove this, you can kind of take apart her whole head really. And then you could reposition her eyes. So let me show you that really quick. So you can just remove the front covering here, and you can angle the eyes so you can make her look kind of more intense if you angle them down slightly, so she looks more angry, like that. And then you can just replace all of the different parts. It's a fairly easy build, so you'll remember how to do it, I think, within a couple of tries. But that gives her a slightly different expression there. And I like that with the crosses, you can kind of experiment with what orientation you want to have for that, and it gives her a slightly different look for her face. So that's Eve, and I'm really happy with her. And next up is Wally, and what a happy little fellow. I mean, look at him. He's just, what a design. This is such an incredible piece of sci-fi design, and I absolutely adore him. So let me just remove his cooler for the time being. So it just attaches in there with this single stud, really simple, into the back. Put that off to the side. So Wally comes with fully, properly working treads here, which was something that I really wanted to include in this version. I didn't have that in the original. I just had sort of a clunky brick-built tread here for that. And yeah, I really like, I can't make it go on this surface because this is too smooth, but if you're on like a carpeted surface or something, then he totally goes. You can see here on my hand, the treads totally work. So they're not attached on here with any gears or anything, so they're just attached around this interesting combination of studs and inkwell pieces that I came up with, that is then attached to this little Technic frame that plugs into the bottom of his body, and it works really well. It holds them in just exactly enough so that they don't fall off, and then they have freedom to rotate. So really pleased with that. The feet actually, or the body relative to the feet, can actually angle forward and back ever so slightly, and that does give him a little bit more of a, if he's looking down, you can move his body back, and if he's looking up, you can move it forward, and just that little bit does actually add a lot of expression, I think. So yeah, next up we'll look at his arms. So he has the indication here, whoops. So that is one thing, the design of this is a little bit fragile, and you just have to be careful where you're grabbing it when you're manipulating it, but the arms can move up and down like this. They can splay to the sides, so you can get Wally into a waving pose, so he can, or don't go over there, don't do that kind of a look. Because of the attachment point here for the shoulder being this rounded 1x1 bar attachment piece here, he actually has a little bit of an elbow, so you can actually rotate that ever so slightly there, which is not strictly canonically accurate, but it's something that allows you to have just a little bit of extra flexibility when posing. And then the other thing that you can do is you can actually remove the whole arm, and you can place it down here at the bottom, which is something that, so this area, this kind of L shape, is a track that the arm sockets can move up and down in the movie. So it allows Wally to place his arms down low, and he can get kind of different looks for his arms. He can also like reach down to the ground a lot easier and stuff like that. So that's a really useful little integration there. And there you go. So then you can rotate his wrists, although when you do that, this this bracket piece that is attached with does want to come off, so just hold on to that and you can just rotate this side to side. And you can actually also angle the hands up and down. When you do that though, this ingot piece that represents his top finger plates will kind of lock into place behind this little catch, so the hands will not want to bend back. So you just lift that up and then you can there freely rotate it again. But I really wanted to get the look of his little kind of grabby, pincer hands there, and I think this is an absolute perfect way to do it. So really, it's a trick, it's an illusion, because the attachment point for this is at the front, but it just looks like his fingers are, attached where they should be and coming together in a little clampy grip there. And I'm really happy with how that looks. And it allows him to get kind of either he's like, if he's really trying to get somewhere fast, you can kind of give him the hands forward, pitch his head forward like this, and then make it look like he's really booking it, like don't go, I'm trying to catch you right now. And I think that's a really fun look, so I'm really glad you can do that with this. And then let me go ahead and reset his arm to the proper position so they match up there, and there you go, you can see that. So that's really fun. And then we'll get to the head next. So the head is able to move, obviously, at the neck, back and forth like so. Then you can adjust his eyes individually, which is actually kind of fun, because in the movie, when he installs a new eye, he kind of goes through this little, it's almost like setting up a new printer. It goes through this set of motions, and so you can kind of simulate that by having his eyes move up and down separately, like so. And then the shaping for the eyes here I think is perfect, with this relatively new rounded brick here off to the side to give it that kind of sad downturned look that his eyes have. So the head, like I said, can move back and forth around the neck. It can also swivel from the middle here, so you can have him look to the side. He can look, you can actually turn his neck to the side and then rotate his head forward so that he can then kind of pitch his head to the side like this. You can have a little bit of acquisitive or quizzical kind of look to him, which I think also works really well. I can just rotate his head back forward like so. And then the actual eyes themselves are free moving, like I showed you, so you can pull them both up to give him an upward look, and you can accentuate that more with the neck, or down, so you can be looking either at the ground or looking at Eve's hand when he wants to grab it, stuff like that. And I think it has a really, really good range for something this tiny. I think that as a puppet almost, this has a really good range of articulation, and I'm just super thrilled with how it turned out. So there we go. You can see here, just a quick look at the back. Nothing too fancy there, just got the shaping for the little trash compactor section, and then he's got his, obviously, the stripes off to the side and the little indicator for his level of charge. And then I used this is from a relatively recent Speed Champions set. I just wanted to include a little red indication there for the Wall-E logo, and I thought this was a perfect, if you don't look at it too close and see that it says GR, you can picture that as being the little Wall-E logo. So I used that in there, but you don't have to. You can just go ahead and substitute. Actually, you could just substitute both of these for a single 1x2 yellow tile, or you could just do a regular 1x1 in there if you like. If you like that for some reason, you want to keep it that way, that's what you can do. If you don't want to, shell out for that tile, which is probably pretty expensive in its printed configuration like that. So just something to be aware of if you're going to go ahead and purchase this, or purchase the bricks for it. So there you go. There is Wall-E. Let me show you how him and Eve are intended to go on the stand, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so here are all of the elements that you get with the diorama, and let me just show you how to attach them all into the base. So first of all, we'll go ahead and plug his little cooler in here on the back, like that, and just get it angled just right. There you go. And then I'll go ahead and place his hands in the kind of downward position like that, and just sort of get his neck and get it to look in that kind of downward direction, and just tilt his body forward. That's just how I kind of like to pose him in the scene. And then if we look at this little area right here, this little brick, this 1x2 brick, is designed to kind of go in between his little leg struts and just give him a place to kind of anchor in, and a suggestion of where he ought to be in the scene. And I also have a few little elements around the side to just kind of roughly pin him in place so that he stays sort of, roughly where he's meant to be at. So that's kind of his proper position. And then for Eve, we just plug her into this, plug her in and I'll show you. So this little area right here where there's a little recess, I just intended for her to sit down in the recess a little bit to just kind of hide the studded base of that pole piece just a little bit more. And you can just angle them so that they're looking at each other all romantic like. You can place their hands in a holding position like so. And then the boot, you can just tuck it off to the side here, like so. And there you go. There's your diorama. So I think this is going to make for a really, really fun little desk piece, and something that I think a lot of people can enjoy just glancing over at. If you're a fan of the movie like I am, I think you'll enjoy it. And yeah, if you do want to splash out on this, it's probably a heck of a lot cheaper to get hold of than the absolutely beautiful and brilliant official LEGO Ideas set that came out that was designed by director Angus MacLean. I think that's really, really expensive to get your hands on these days. So if you do want to get a Wall-E display piece of some kind, and also you don't have a ton of space, you can go ahead and get this. So hopefully you guys get a kick out of it, and just let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think that I hit the mark here? Do you think I missed completely? Did I disrespect this movie's brilliant legacy with my terrible LEGO model? You let me know. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do go ahead and build the instructions and everything, I would love if you could leave a comment on Rebrickable as well, just letting me know what you think of the build, if it kind of lived up to your expectations, if you enjoyed it, etc., just so that Rebrickable knows that I'm putting out quality products. And I mean, hopefully you guys are enjoying what I'm doing over there. So yeah, that's something that really helps out too. And of course, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of the good things here on YouTube help me out as well. 2bricks is now my main source of revenue, and the money that I make from instructions and ad revenue is kind of how I'm intending to support myself forever going forward. So it's something that is more important to me than ever, and I do really appreciate how much you guys have been doing it already. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.